In today's video, we'll start a new series called Kaiser Domination, in which we will follow a German victory in World War I. And well, World War I begins with Austria getting angry because their, got killed. Yeah. Archduke Frence Surrender. And they end up at war with Serbia, which leads to war with Russia, Germany, France. And yeah, we're not at the next part, which is about to happen. And well, the Western Front breaks out. And well, before we get to the next part, Britain, Belgium, and all of these nations end up part of this war. Now, one thing, because I forgot to fix this. Why is this border this on this map? I don't know. And I don't know why. So yeah, let's just quickly fix this. And quickly fix that. And well, now we can get into it with, let's start it like normal, Schieffelin plan, but it goes a bit different than it would with the Western Front line breaking out. And you may say, how different is it? Well, it doesn't lead to a French surrender, no, but it greatly weakens them. With instead of like normal, how they got stopped before they could reach the water, they managed to take Brussels and then get all the way to the coast, seizing these lands. And after doing this, their advance continues down the coast. Down like this. They capture Paris, and then they get to about here. And they even manage to get lands here. But at this point, we see a Russian offensive in Prussia and Galicia. Yep, a Russian offensive in Galicia. With this moving in. But going really bad, not getting past the Carpathian Mountains. Worse than our timeline, I think. And well, they start invading Prussia. At this point, a German and Austrian counter-offensive breaks out. Well, this is as trenches are built in the West. Yes, they build trenches in the West. This creates a stalemate. But Germany launches a counter-offensive in the East, along with Austria. Well, they push them out of this part of Prussia and out of here. Well, Austria did this, but once German forces arrive, they managed to do this, which leads them to all be out. And well, the Eastern campaign begins, with Germany launching offensives into Poland, with some Austrian troops helping, with German troops managing to push in and capture Warsaw. And this encirclement's built. And they also launch an offensive north. And well, at this point, the fall of Serbia begins. And yeah, the fall of Serbia, skip the Bulgaria joining part. And well, yes, goes very well. Wait, that's not the right color. But yeah. Yeah, it was the right color. And well, with Austria moving in from the north, Bulgaria manages to take all of Macedonia over, with Serbia and Montenegro collapsing. And at this point, the Ottomans decide to join, which I think they held to here then, like some of the islands, not all. And well, the Ottomans finally join. And I just realized Cyprus is a part of Britain right now. Yeah. And well, with the Ottomans joining, they start a small front against Russia. And they make a landing on Cyprus, and they take advantage of the situation to try to invade, but that ends up with a stalemate. And well, at this point, Italy decides to join. And well, now there's a breakthrough in France. Don't call her in Malta. It's part of Britain technically, but we can't see it really. And well, where's the breakthrough happen? Well, around Paris. Right there, which is where Paris is. But it's not actually. I think it's a bit further to the south. But, well, it's too late to fix that. With them having a breakthrough crossing these fronts, and Italy manages to take over Corsica and move in. With Italy not being a traitor this time. And well, France is in Bordeaux, that's where their government is. So Germany starts an offensive towards there and moves some troops here. With them then over here pushing against this encirclement. And with that, this allows the forces to start a siege on Bordeaux. Well, Italy continues its offensive a tiny bit. And well, they take this over, and this leads to a French surrender. Yep, a French surrender. And well, Russia starts losing some cities. And how long does that take? Well, a fast advance is made through to the north, which takes Riga, Vilnius, and they quickly move up here and take Tallinn. As they start an offensive towards St. Petersburg or Petrograd, I don't know what they have it named here at this point. And well, they take Munich. And well, they move into here, managing to push in and take over the city. And well, at this point, after Russia loses some cities, they decide to go for Kiev with an advance towards Kiev. And this leads to the invasion of Romania. Why invade Romania? With Russia already basically out of this war, they advance up the coast in Romania. Austrian troops move in. And they take over this. Romania decides to switch sides to get land. And well, a German advance towards here along with Austrian. Germany needing to get Ukraine taken over. With them moving forces down to here to move in. Along with what's left of the surrendered Romania. With the takeover of Crimea. Well, what's going on in the Caucasus? Well, the Ottomans are pushing a bit further. With Russia struggling to push it back. But yes, there is counter-offensives, but they're really small. Like this. And smaller. With Kiev being near the front line, but not there, it's right here. With them encircling Kiev, and then this area continues fighting. But they continue into Ukraine till Russia decides to surrender. Which they end up advancing into these territories after, just to stabilize it. And well, they go over to Britain, and Britain doesn't do anything. Russia surrendered already. With Ottoman takeover of Cyprus, Italy starts moving into Egypt. And an Ottoman breakthrough, which manages to capture Cairo. At this point, Egypt falls. And with this, Britain uses this for a surrender. Now all the powers meet in Munich for the Treaty of Munich, the Munich Conference. So let's see how it goes. A lot of stuff has changed on this map, but let's go over some key things. Starting with Russia. Germany annexed a bit of land in Poland. Austria gained a bit of land in the Ukrainian territories. And Romania gained Bessarabia. And now we got Ukrainian Belarusian, Polish, Lithuania, and Baltic puppet. And here, Austria took over all the coast of Montenegro, parts of Serbia, and puppeted the rest of the southern parts, such as Macedonia, being annexed by Bulgaria. Bulgaria annexes all of Dobruja. Yeah, Turkey gains a bit of land there, and they manage to gain Cairo and the Nile and the Suez Canal areas here. Egypt manages to continue like this, part of Britain, and well, Italy annexed Tunisia from France. Now let's go to France. Well, Germany gained some land from France, Belgium, and all of Luxembourg. Puppeted Belgium, gave them a bit of French land. Up here, this is a northern occupation zone. Here we can see Italy expanded into that a bit. And well, the alliance between France, Russia, and Britain is disbanded. I feel like using gray for the alliance works. And this will be just what's part of the alliance now. Yes, that's the alliance basically now. Now for their puppets. Yes, the Central Powers becomes the Grey League. Well, yes. With Romania, Bulgaria, and Turkey wanting to join it, but don't join yet. And with Austria becoming increasingly unstable, well, there's no alliance here. And well, they have to keep their militaries down, and most reparation goes on Britain, which means it's not that bad. And well, the Treaty of Munich has been done, and well, Russia starts secretly speaking diplomatically with Britain and France, secretly. With Turkey planning something. Turkey's mad because they didn't get all the land they hoped for. And well, that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Why should you subscribe? So you get to 3,500 subscribers by August 31st. So please subscribe. Bye, guys.